The new universal background frequencies keep flooding the earth, and this is what it means for us. I am sure that many of you are sensing, are seeing, are feeling these crispy changes in the air, in your life, within yourself, that can be caused through the change in relationship dynamics. Some of you being pushed to make decisions you haven't had the courage to make before. Maybe you're speaking up now, changing your group of people that you surround yourself with. Your career, if you were employed before, now you are fully stepping into your purpose and into your own business. Maybe you're relocating countries and you realize that you are no longer the same person that you were before, and that something is completely different. These new energies are obviously caused through the shifts and changes in the planetary alignments, such as the eclipses, one of them which we had last Saturday. And what is happening is that Earth, of course, is ascending, is rebirthing, and we in our human vessel, we are intrinsically linked to Pachamama. And you can imagine that as if you go to an acupuncturist. So we have certain meridian points in our bodies, nodes, where they plug in the needle. And those nodes usually are stuck because of certain emotional patterns that we are having and wounds. So prana and life force can't fully flow through those channels. So with the plugging in of the needle, we are opening that and light can completely come through. This is where we feel again vitalized and full of life. And Earth has the same. They are not necessarily called meridian points, but ley lines. These new energy frequencies are going to shed divine truth into everything that we have so far believed to be true. It's going to break through the status quo and completely shapeshift the way we have not just created societies, but also the way we have lived. In astrology, it's called the Age of Aquarius, and in human design, it is said that those energies are going to be fully kicking in by February 2027, and we are going to move away from the cross of planning into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. The cross of planning was a time, an era in humanity where we have established institutions, where we have looked up to outside authorities to guide our ways. It is a time where communities were established, bargain, trade, but also a time where humans weren't necessarily in their own sovereign power, but rather wanted to belong to, wanted to be a part of someone and something. So does it mean we are not going to have communities and tribes that gather together? Of course we will. But how this is going to play out and how we as individuals are going to play our role in those communities and tribes, this is going to completely change. Before that, the focus was very strongly on belonging to, on wanting to fit in no matter what. Now the cross of the sleeping phoenix is set to be the age and the survival of the individual. And that sounds pretty much like doomsday, and that we're all going to be some sort of selfish bastards walking around, but nothing could be further from the truth. What it means and what these new energies are doing is they're asking you to fully come back home, be in your sovereign power, know who you are on a soul level, not on a mental or emotional level. So when we are now going to be part of a community, it's going to be from our inner authority and sovereign power, not from fitting in. One of the main things that is also going to be changing in those new energetics is the way that we learn things. Many of the spiritual teachings are going to be busted simply for the reason that they are inverted. It's not that they are not carrying the seeds of truth, because most of them do, but some of them as well are actually more focused on popular, common beliefs of a society rather than universal truth. And that's why they became so famous, such as a man is a man, a woman is a woman, protect the rights of women and children, while all of that makes common sense and is part of divine truth. It is not the entirety of it, because common sense ain't that common, if you have noticed, and that's because it's not based on mental or emotional beliefs. It is based on a higher knowledge that is beyond this time and space. Because the divine truth in many of our teachings works in the opposite. There is a lot of focus on the mind and the heart. Both of them are having an important role. However, you don't make that shift while focusing on your thoughts. You don't make that shift while focusing on your heart. You make that shift while focusing and being in alignment of your soul. Now, for many, this is challenging because we don't know how to connect our soul, how to trust the whispers of our soul, because we are so programmed, remember, outside authority telling us what is right and what is wrong. Now we are asked to live out of our inner authority, which is soul's wisdom. So it is not necessarily your thoughts that create reality, because nothing exists without your consciousness. It's your soul that creates that reality. And when you're in alignment with your soul, your manifestations always happen like that. And that's what we often feel when we are in a state of surrender. You will hear many people say, just be from your heart, listen to your heart. And this is true to a certain degree, especially when we are not able to tap into our soul's wisdom. This is the first anchor point. But you see, you live out of a heart space automatically when you are aligned with your soul, because when people focus on the heart, many of them just stay stuck there. But the heart is a doorway. It's a doorway that opens the doors to your vast totality, to your soul's knowledge. And when you are embodied within your soul's knowledge and wisdom, this door completely transcends, and it's not a door anymore, it's all one. So we are changing and shifting the focus on how we are doing things, because it's all soul-based, it's all soul-aligned. Everything else is a tool to get there. So these new energies, remember, are calling you back home to your soul.